Join us and subscribe to the Eagles TV news channel. Stay connected always and be the first to know about the most recent news updates by hitting the subscription. Subscribe to our channel for most exclusive and classified most recent updates in Kenya and around the world. Thank you for your subscription.
Preachers who died mysteriously after receiving Ruto'S money, gifts or by shaking hands. Kenyans are still shocked on the death of the House of Hope Bishop Godfrey Migwi. In the last few years, Kenya's Christian community has been dealt a huge blow following the suspicious deaths of the clergy and other prominent men of cloth in controversial circumstances. Bishop Godfrey Migwi, who was a staunch supporter of the Mr. Ruto, died in unclear circumstances few days after delivering a lengthy sermon that his followers believe was a presentiment of his imminent death. Bishop Godfrey Migwi backed William Ruto wholeheartedly to the president. The pastor was always entertained by the second in charge at his current house. His ties to Mr. Ruto were so significant that he was poised to run for the Mathioya parliamentary seat on the United Democratic Alliance (UDA) platform. The late Migwi not only launched stinging assaults against former President Uhuru Kenyatta on multiple occasions, but he also targeted Raila Odinga of the Orange Democratic Movement (ODM) for championing the Building Bridges Initiative (BBI). Mr. Ruto regarded the man of God as a highly magnificent priest whose sermons were highly powerful and nourishing to the heart when mourned him. Migwi's death followed hot in heels of that of gospel DJ Daniel Manga of Cape Sounds Entertainment through a road accident along the Northern Bypass. The soft-spoken DJ was another dalliance of Mr. Ruto and was famous for live-streaming Ruto's church visits across MT Kenya region. On the list also is Bishop Shem Shamala, was another individual who died. Mr. Shamala, the African Church of the Holy Spirit's bishop, died just days after Mr. Ruto by then Deputy President William gifted him a car. By the time he died, Bishop Shem Shamala was 84 years old. He became the church's sixth high priest in 2014 after rising through the ranks of the church's hierarchy. The high priest of the African Church of the Holy Spirit died less than a month after Mr. William Ruto presented him with a brand new car after he attended a church ceremony in Kakamega County. According to Eagles TV classified report, the man of God had been fine for all along until when he met Mr. Ruto, and that is when he was unable to continue with his daily normal activities, hence unable to get care in any of the country's hospitals. The third one is Bishop Dr. Simon Wanjohi Wahinya, was another bishop who also died immediately after meeting with Mr. Ruto under unclear circumstances. Wahinya served as the regional bishop of Nyandarua County's illustrious Pefa churches. He also served as chair of the Nyandarua Pastors Fellowship. Church in fear as deaths of clergy associated with DP Ruto rises. And due this revelation, fear has gripped church leaders across the country as the number of deaths of the clergy associated then the Deputy President William Ruto continue to rise. Not long ago, the Ndambani African Church of the Holy Spirit High Priest Shem Shamala collapsed and died a week after receiving a brand new car and 500,000 Kenyan shillings church donation from the DP. The second in command had donated the Suzuki Vitara after attending a church service. Another bishop that interacted with the second in command prior to his death was Bishop Dr. Simon Wanjohi Wahinya. Wahinya served as the regional bishop of the eminent Pefa churches located at Nyandarua County. He was also the chairperson of the Nyandarua Pastors Fellowship. Bishop Wanjohi is amongst those bishops that by then Deputy President held meetings with in the midst of the ravaging effects of the coronavirus pandemic. He died of COVID-19 related complications. Others include Bishop Mercy Wesiama. Bishop Mercy Wesiama died almost immediately after interacting with Ruto in a fund drive. It was believed that she succumbed to the deadly coronavirus. However, it is reported that she probably contracted the virus on a Sunday following the big ceremony of Harambee that she had held in her church. Among the senior-most persons she interacted with Mr. William Ruto, who they were spotted having a handshake. Mercy Wesiama was a renowned TV presenter who holds a program of prayers and counseling in a local TV station. She was also a dedicated gospel singer whose songs are very popular. Her death adds another sorrow to the artists, especially from central Kenya, who have lost their lives after interacting with Mr. William Ruto. This was followed by Bishop Silas Silvanus Njiru of Catholic Fraternity in Kenya, who passed on after meeting Ruto. Bishop Emeritus of the Catholic Diocese of Maru, who died, is claimed to have died of coronavirus in Turin, Italy. Reports indicated that Bishop passed on at Rivoli Hospital after being admitted on April 25. According to a April 28 statement by Father Pedro José da Silva Luvo, Secretary General of Consolata Missionaries, Bishop Njiru was on April 25 taken to Rivoli Hospital due to COVID-19 infection, where he passed on 28.
Other victims include Pastor Lincoln Kiama Wanyiri, Bishop Dr. Hosea Ondiek Amuga, Reverend Susan Ragano Mwangi, and Bishop Stephen K. Ingange. According to a theology lecturer at Pan-African Christian University, Dr. Cornelius Indanga, the church in the country has never witnessed such a high number of deaths related despite the prevailing COVID-19 rampage. Why is it that the people dying in their numbers are bishops, pastors, catechists, and staunch devotees of the church, including our church elders, and not teachers, engineers, pilots, or ordinary business people? There is more than meets the eye, Dr. Ndanga observed. Dr. Ndanga further has warned that the clergy from spiritual indulgence with pretentious politicians whose worldly gifts and donations could have spiritual ties to witchcraft and sacrifices, noting that politicians across the world can do anything to win an election regardless of the cost, human or material. This emerged as President William Ruto's wife Rachel Ruto hosted a delegation of Nigerian men of God for prayers at their spiritual shrine at the official residence of the president in State House. The 7 preachers, accompanied by June Ruto's in-laws, arrived in the country from Ikorodu City, north of Lagos, on the eve of Jamhuri Day. According to a source close to the president, the men of God are in the country to pray for Ruto's presidency and further advance their evangelical works to local churches. In May this year, Ruto's daughter June married her longtime fiancé Alexander Paul Ezenaga in a colorful wedding that was attended by who is who in the political sphere. David Matelo, one of the pastors campaigned for Ruto, also died suddenly. The family of the Redeemed Gospel Church pastor David Matelo is mourned sudden death. Eagles exclusively learnt on December 28 that the pastor, who enjoyed a close relationship with Mr. President William Ruto, died after developing breathing problems. Jeremy Montage, the Garissa-based church's communications representative and pianist, noted that Matelo woke up at 5 a.m. for prayers. Trouble began when he returned home and complained of chest pains. He woke up at around 5 a.m. and went to church for prayers. When he returned, he told his wife that he was experiencing chest pains. The wife called a church member to help take him to the hospital. He was having difficulty in breathing and was pronounced dead on arrival to Garissa County Referral Hospital, stated Montage. He had hosted the Ruto in Garissa during a breakfast meeting with the clergy on Wednesday, December 22, 2021. Before his death, Matelo was among the clergy that urged former President Uhuru Kenyatta to mend fences with then his deputy. In October 2020, he led the Garissa County Dialogue Conference, FCDC, which argued that service delivery countrywide depended on a good working relationship between the two. We wish to remind the President and his deputy that the people of Kenya elected them as a unit and they have no choice but to serve them, contrary to the consistent political posturing and gesturing that has dominated the news. Pastor Matelo was among prominent religious leader who attended a night vigil prayer night at then Deputy President's Karen home that was dedicated at praying for the peace in the country ahead of the 2022 general elections. The prayer vigil was conducted by several priests and religious leaders from Nigeria who had accompanied June Ruto's in-laws to a visit at the DP's residence. So in summary, or the big question is why die after meeting Ruto? Jibu kwako. Reporting courtesy of Eagles TV. Kindly tune to our YouTube and subscribe for more classified updates.